It's time once again for another episode of the Buckhead Business Show. Being brought to you by the Buckhead-Business-Association. Broadcasting live from the Pro-Business Channel studios in Atlanta. And now, here's your host for today's episode.
All right, Rich-Casanova alongside
Craig Williams.
The anchors for the Pro-Business Show in our Buckhead studio for the Pro-Business Channel. And speaking of Buckhead, it's everything Buckhead on this show, right?
Everything Buckhead. I mean, if it's got a buck in it, Buckhead in it.
Yeah, because
we're talking about it.
We like to say Buckhead's better.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And so let's jump right into it. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a weekly installment of the Buckhead Business Show brought to you by the Buckhead-Business-Association. 62-year history right here in the Buckhead community.
Strong history.
Craig Williams, you're been around about almost as long as the BBA, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Or in Buckhead.
Yeah, in spirit anyways.
Yeah, in spirit, yeah. So having said that, we're going to kind of let you know where we're headed with this episode. We're going to spotlight some of the membership benefits and the mission behind the BBA, but then also, obviously, the value proposition and the opportunity to be a guest and potentially a co-host along with the anchors here on the Buckhead Business Show, which happens Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock here in the Pro Business Channel studios in Buckhead. So Craig, as both of us as members of the BBA, let's talk about some of their mission is basically to kind of connect folks doing business, living in Buckhead community, and tell their story, make connections, networking, right?
Build partnerships.
Yeah.
Just add value, especially to the business community. And Buckhead's very instrumental in the lifeblood of Atlanta, as most people know.
And they can definitely go to the website. That's buckhead-business.org. Check with Samita. She's the executive director.
She is the champion over there.
I'm telling you.
Overwork, and I'm not going to talk about her pay. I don't know. But she is definitely overworked, and so we want to just give her all the applause that we possibly could find in the studio. Can we find some?
Oh, absolutely. That goes out to Samita. Basically, the glue that holds the whole organization together. And speaking of the organization, obviously have the board directors, and there are about 400 members, I believe, give or take, and officers and directors. But let's talk about some of their events that happen during the course of the month. Obviously, they do their monthly socials.
The weekly breakfasts that I attend, real exciting speakers that we've had there, strong speakers, and very informative, a lot of connecting, a lot of value in that.
And that happens every Thursday morning, 7:30.
Every Thursday except for the third Thursday.
When they do their after-hours social, yeah. And so you've attended a number of those. I've been to those as well. Great networking, great breakfast, and a chance to meet movers and shakers. And they're always open to guests as well, obviously as in addition to the members. And then finally, in addition to their signature luncheons, annual luncheon, they do once a year, they do what they call Taste of Buckhead. And we were very excited as a media partner for the BBA to be in attendance, not only as members, but we brought on what we call the pro-business on-site reporting, and we interviewed all the exhibitors.
Yeah, you did quite a few interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been housed on all of our on our platform as well as on syndicated media. And as of to date, they've had more downplays and listens than the actual attendees at the event.
Wow.
I mean, that speaks to your message of evergreen and content and creating those conversations.
That's the value of it.
All right. So in addition to, the purpose of this show, let's kind of go back to the crux of the show, is a weekly platform giving members of the BBA an opportunity to tell their story, with no strings attached. We never charge, cardinal rule, never charge a guest to come on the show and tell their story. And ideally for folks that are doing business, have a presence in Buckhead, ideally, right?
Yeah, or some type of partnership, because
yeah.
you could have a lot of virtual relationships, and there's the win-win.
Right.
But I remember when I lived in DeKalb County, I had a membership with the BBA because a lot of my business was in that area.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you could be somewhere in Metro Atlanta or beyond, but have a number of clients or have
your target market could be
in Buckhead.
Yeah.
So there's really no boundaries per se, but ideally for those folks that are wanting to connect with the business community in Buckhead.
In a strong way.
Yeah.
Membership does have its benefits, as we say.
Absolutely, yeah. And so that's the invite. So you can go actually to, we'll just give you the site. You go to buckhead-business-show.com. Very simple.
Real simple.
Right?
Buckhead Business Show. Just spelled right out. .com, right?
Just add the word show to the buckhead-business-show.com. And right there you can submit a guest request, nominate a guest, and we'll review and consider your appearance here on the show. And it is by request only. Obviously, members are invited, but you do not have to be a member of the BBA.
And the other thing is it's a great opportunity for those, the members and the host of the show to build some synergy with prospective guests that they are wanting to get in front of as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you can go to our site, the pro-business-channel-bba, and see, just find the BBA show, which is listed there. You can see the inaugural show, which on that show we had the current president,
Greg Davis.
Right. We had the incoming president, David Coxon. We had the Young Bucks president.
Yep.
Right.
And Shamita was there. Was she? Did we miss her? Were they working her again?
She was working for the annual luncheon. She was tuning in. We also had Joanne Hayes, which is another.
Joanne Hayes has been a big partner of ours for some time and had her own show.
Yep.
And she'll be hosting as one of the. She'll be one of the hosts. Yeah, rotating host. As will all of the members that you just mentioned.
And speaking of that, that is the open invite on a case-by-case basis is as the anchors, the door's always open to be a guest on the show and tell your story, but also executive members of the board as well as current longstanding legacy members, current members, new members, pretty much any member of the BBA can request an opportunity to sit in and co-host one of our shows. And ideally, if you have some folks that you want to build a concept or a spotlight episode around, that would be...
The idea is to make sure that the Buckhead Business Show is realized to all of its members and that they are engaging on a regular basis. Whether you can make it to the breakfast or the luncheons, we want you engaged because this is a great opportunity for not only the light to be shined on the Buckhead Business Association, but your business and your contribution to the community at large.
Absolutely. We've been talking about the members and the board and so forth, but a huge invite obviously goes out to the sponsors of the BBA, which at all different levels, those folks that are making a significant contribution to the BBA, which is a nonprofit organization.
Yes, it is.
So for their support, again, not only invited as a guest, but potentially sit in and co-host a show along with us.
And we love our media partners with the BBA, and they're definitely welcome here to help promote the power of Buckhead. I mean, that's the idea. Our association, two things that are greater than us, lead us to greatness. So we definitely want our media partners of the BBA and the Pro Business Channel to engage and be proactive about showing up and sharing this value, this great value.
And adding to that list would be their community partners, which again is just at their site, buckhead-business.org. So y'all folks, that if you're
folks, come on in.
If you're a community partner for the BBA,
submit your request.
Absolutely. And where would they do that?
At the buckhead-business-show.com. That simple, buckhead-business-show.com.
And it's completely automated. Can't make it any simpler. You just go there, fill out a few items on a form. We'll get the request, and we'll you select the date that's most convenient for you.
And the time.
Yep, and the time. We'll make it happen. Well, the time is always Tuesday at 10 a.m., so just put that on your calendar. So any kind of closing comments here? Once again, Rich Casanova, Craig Williams here, the anchors for the Buckhead Business Show here in the Buckhead studio. And again, an invite goes out to those folks who would like to be a guest or potentially a co-host on a spotlight episode of the BBA show here in the studio. Craig, your thoughts, any closing comments?
Not a one. I'm excited about the next guest that walks in the door.
All right, I've never seen you without words, but you actually you very carefully select your words. Yeah, you're not like me with a lot of filler words. Yeah. So once again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Buckhead Business Show. Rich Casanova. We'll see you next time, every Tuesday morning here on the show.
Thank you for joining us and our guests on the Pro Business Channel. Use the social media links here to share today's show and stay tuned for the next episode of the Buckhead Business Show. Brought to you by the Buckhead-Business-Association.